Sooner or later, you're going to need a miracle in your life. So what do you do when you need a miracle? Like, what do you do when you are facing an impossible situation and you need God to show up? Well, first, let me just tell you this. One thing I love about the New Testament, the ministry of Jesus, is that you see that God does miracles for just ordinary people. He does miracles for people who are spiritual. He does miracles for people who are not spiritual. He does miracles for people who are asking. Sometimes he just pointed people out in the crowd and his grace was just poured over them and he miraculously touched their life. But how do you pray for a miracle when you need one? Well, in the Bible, if you'll go to Luke chapter 18 and turn there at the end, this is the last passage of Luke 18. This is where a blind beggar receives a miracle. And in this story, I think there are some principles that are going to help you in your prayer life. And this is what it says. As Jesus approached Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. Verse 36. When he heard the crowd going by, he asked what was happening. And they told him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. So if you can envision this, Jesus is going up to Jericho. There's about 10,000 people that are traveling with him because of his teaching ministry and all of the miracles that were following him. And while this massive crowd was traveling with him, here is a blind man sitting beside this road begging. Now, there were a lot of blind people that were beside the road during this day. And one of the reasons is because there was a bush around Jerusalem that from this bush they would make a balm and they would put it on people's eyes to see if it would help them with their eyesight. And so a lot of these beggars that were dealing with blindness or dealing with some trouble with their eyesight would go kind of like a guinea pig. They were desperate to have some sort of help and relief in their life. So here's this blind beggar. He's hearing this commotion. He's like, what's going on? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. And this is what he said. He called out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And those who led the way rebuked him and told him to be quiet. But I love his tenacity. But he shouted all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus stopped and ordered the man to be brought to him. When he came near, Jesus asked him, what do you want me to do for you? Lord, I want to see, he replied. Jesus said to him, receive your sight, your faith has healed you. Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus, praising God. When all the people saw it, they also praised God. Here's some principles that are going to help you. So if you've got a pen or something you can take notes on, I want you to write it down. When you need a miracle, you need to pray with passion. The first thing you do is pray out of a place of desperation and engage your heart. So many times, the longer you're a Christian, what will happen is you'll begin to just pray prayers that you've memorized, and you'll be praying, but your heart is disconnected. And this is what you see in the blind beggar. He is praying, and passion is attached to his words, okay? On vacation, a couple of weeks ago, we were in Colorado, me and my family. And my youngest daughter, Ainsley, had fell in love with this little ramen noodle stand that was across the parking lot from where we were staying. And so one day she was saying, I want ramen noodles, Dad. And I was telling her, we have another restaurant that we're going to eat at later. Don't worry about those ramen noodles. She was like, I really want ramen noodles. And I was just like, listen to me, girl. Don't worry about them ramen noodles. We got a place we're going to eat in about 2 hours. Then she looked at me and she grabbed my hand and her eyes met my eyes. And she said, Daddy, I want some ramen noodles, just me and you. And I said, it's a date. You see, what didn't change was her words. There was just some passion behind her words. And I'm telling you, in prayer, tone is everything. Engage your emotions. God gave them to you. Then there's a second thing is you do need some tenacity in prayer. Because as soon as this guy started saying, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me, you hear the passion, then the crowd started to rebuke him. They're like, you got to quiet down. This is like religious people. They're just like, you're making a fuss. You're making a commotion. Don't disturb our little crowd meeting up here. This guy, listen to me, with all the rebukes and all the opposition, he kept on asking for what he wanted. When you begin to pray for a miracle, you're going to need some persistence. You're going to need some persistence because all of hell is going to try to oppose you. There may be other people, their lack of faith feels like it's opposing you. But the best thing is when you pray for things over and over again, it shows you what you really want in life. So don't give up and don't throw in the towel. Persist. The Bible says to ask and keep on asking. Knock and keep on knocking, and it will be given to you. Here's the third thing. So we see the passion, we see the tenacity, but then Jesus says, what do you want me to do for you? And this is so simple. He said, I want to see. Do you see the precision here? Like, he didn't say, Lord, would you bless me? I mean, like if you pray, God, would you just bless my day? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. But if you want to have answered prayers, then you need to pray prayers that are very specific. Because when you pray prayers that are specific and specific prayers get specific answers, then God, what happens? He gets the glory. He says, I want to see. So what is it in your life that you want to see God to do? Do you want to see God reach your husband and see him saved? Then say it specifically. Are you believing God for a spouse? Then say it specifically. What do you want God to do in your kids? Then be precise. And then when you see God show up, you'll give him the glory. You guys have a great day. God bless.